Good to see you back here, Virgo. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au, and welcome to our new viewers. Here's your chart for the month, and very significant because we like to look month by month at the lunations here. That's the transit of the moon. To take a look, for example, straight off the bat on the 2nd, moon moving into the full moon phase in your sun sign. So this is significant because your sun sign, of course, has to do with mainly your personality, your drive, and to a large extent, how you see yourself. Along with the ascendant, if you know your rising sign, Virgo, then you can apply this to that as well. And later in the month, I'm going to show you how, even at the beginning of the month, Venus, Mercury, your ruling planet, Neptune and the Sun, all in this 7th house, which is pretty significant because this has to do with your relationships, your marriage, your business partnerships. So both this full moon and also some of these opposition aspects are pretty challenging, but that opens your eyes to a lot of the relationship issues that you may need to deal with under these very complex, what we call stelliums. That's where you have a few planets bundled up in one area. Look here, however, you do have the opportunity, especially under the water transit of the moon in Scorpio, to start to work through that stuff. That's not going to happen, I don't think, until we get the new moon happening later in the month. Before that, there are some opportunities to develop your communication skills here with the moon and Jupiter conjunction around the 7th and the 8th. Then the moon moves to your 4th house, where we see Mars transiting. That can be rather problematic for you. And around the 9th and 10th, as the moon moves into that powerful reactive conjunction, be careful. Look also there, we just missed that, because I'm probably going a little bit too fast. This right angle from your domestic sphere, the moon to this marital area, and at the same time, around the 8th, 7th or 8th, your ruling planet and Venus moving into your 8th house of shared resources, which is money problems. Well, even if you've got problems, don't make it worse by arguing. That's why that moon Jupiter was helping you, or will help you, to smooth things over through your communication. Here, moon moves to the 5th house, where you see Pluto and Saturn. Not so great for that connection with your inner child and your creativity. That's stifling you at the moment. And I've said on previous occasions, while Saturn and Pluto are here, you have some big interior decoration to do. It's a renovatory sort of period where you have to work through what it means to be in love and whether or not it's working for you. And that's going to be even more evident when Mars moves into this portion of the horoscope just around the time of the new moon, which happens after this 6th house transit on the 14th. Here you've got some health issues maybe that you need to work through. And then you see the moon then moving into that 7th house on the 16th, and Mars also moving into that 5th house area just as the moon touches Neptune, the planet of idealism, the planet that could also confuse matters. But I said to you, wait for it, on the 17th, that new moon in your 7th house of relationships definitely indicates some complete reboot. Perhaps it's version 2.0 of your relationship. Here we see that new moon paves the way for some better times, and then at the same time on the 18th, that movement of Mars into the 5th house, that's challenged by Saturn there as it moves into that conjunction, 18th, 19th, 20th, all the way through for the next few days. So you have to deal with that. You have to maybe put the brakes on expressing yourself. You may feel a little bit bored. And then, of course, all of those planets seem to have shifted their position, at least by the 21st. We see into this 8th house, the Sun, prior to that, Mercury and Venus, all relating to the way you're dealing with money and also issues of sexuality, because this 8th house is intimacy. Into me, see, can you do it? That's all about that. And that's where you've got a bit of a challenge there. Take a look at that. See these right angles here forming, the 90-degree squares? the desire to get intimate, but the inability to express yourself. That's the challenge you have at that time of the month, Virgo. You'll get through that. You can see these planets aren't here forever. Some socializing around the 24th, 25th, as the moon moves into your 11th house. Again, challenged there by these two very significant planets. That opposition is not altogether too savoury. That can damage you emotionally. So the sign of Cancer here is very sensitive, and you may have to really suppress a lot of your feelings with your social connections at that time. 26th, we see the moon in a low-key part of the horoscope. That's a karmic position there, reminiscing over your past. This is a very powerful spiritual component to your month. 8th house and 12th house. 4th house, believe it or not, is also considered a very spiritual part of the horoscope. So at that point, you may feel some deeper stirrings within your spirit to understand your psychology, your relationships, where you came from, where the hell you're going. So anyhow, the moon moves back to your sun sign, sort of repeating where it started the month. And then finally, on the very last day of the month, a little bit of relief as Venus moves out of this 8th house into the 9th house of journeys, higher mind, philosophy, and that sort of thing. And it is a very friendly planet. It's probably your luckiest planet, rules your past karma, and transiting there into its own sign of Taurus at the very fag end of the month. It looks like it's going to give you a nice start to April, which we're going to talk about when I come back next month. I do hope you'll join me, but in the meantime, as always, take a visit to my site, astrology.com.au. We need you there. We need a few more visitors there. It's getting tough out there online, and we do love to serve you and to share, but if you could just reciprocate, come in, have a look, take a look at your month in a little bit more detail, your daily readings and loads of other stuff there. It's all free. If you wish, take care. Bye bye now.